mystery lovers. Welcome back to another episode of Melanin Mysteries, the podcast where we blend true crime with a dash of humor and a sprinkle of sass. And today we've got a swirl case for you. It's more twisted than the vanilla and chocolate mix you get from the ice cream shop. I'm your host, Tiffany.
And I am Willie.
So picture this, a police officer who went from enforcing the law to seriously breaking it. Yep, we're talking about Bobby Cutts Jr., a cop who went off the rails in the most shocking way possible. It's the baffling, tragic tale of Jessie Davis. This story has more twists and turns than a roller coaster, and we're here to guide you through every loop de loop with a smile and a few chuckles along the way. So grab your favorite snack or drink, get comfy, and let's dive into the dark and twisted tale of Bobby Cutts Jr. Trust me, you don't want to miss a single second of this one.
Okay, let's begin. So on June 15th, 2007, police received a call in regards to a missing woman. Her name was Jessie Marie Davis. The caller is Patty Porter. She's Jessie's mother. She hasn't spoken to Jessie in about 2 days before her disappearance. She had been calling her daughter and there was no response, and she missed the usual drop-off time for her grandson. So Patty and her daughter Audrey went to Jessie's home and entered through a back-sliding door that was unlocked. When she came in, she noticed the contents of Jessie's purse all over the floor. She starts calling out for Jessie, of course, with no response. Then her 2-year-old grandson Blake ran into the kitchen with a soiled diaper. She asked her grandson, "Hey, where mommy? Where your mom at? Where your mom at?" So he responded that mommy is crying, mommy broke the table, and mommy is in the rug. So Patty, which again is Jessie's mother, goes to Jessie's room and notices that the mattress is not partially off the bed. A table and a lamp was knocked over, and her daughter's comforter is missing from the bed. She starts to search the house, but doesn't find her daughter and calls 911 immediately. She then told her daughter Audrey to call Blake's father and Jessie's boyfriend, Bobby Cutts. A neighbor who heard Patty screaming came over to help with the baby. She probably was going nuts. And the police arrived as well as Bobby. Jessie is also 9 months pregnant. So she like overly due.
No, she was due a few weeks before she went missing. I believe her due date was July 3rd. So yeah, she about ready to drop. So Jessie Marie Davis was born on May 27th, 1981 to Ned Davis and Patty Porter in Waco, Texas. She was the oldest of seven. She had three sisters, Jane, Whitney, and Audrey, and she had three brothers, Christopher, Clayton, and David. Her family moved a lot when she was younger. She lived in Texas, Florida, PA, and then the family finally settled in Ohio. She graduated from Coventry High School in 1999. They said she was a very deeply faithful person who went to church regularly. She also went on mission trips to South Africa and Russia. And at the time of her disappearance, she was working at Allstate Insurance and she was only 26 years old.
Okay, what didn't you work at Allstate?
No, I worked at Progressive.
Oh, okay, I know one of them. Oh, okay, so Bobby Lee Cutts Jr. Let's talk about him. So he was born May 21st, 1977 in Canton, Ohio to Renee Jones and Bobby Cutts Sr. He attended Glen Oak High School. He coached high school football and became a Canton police officer in 2000. Did we mention that Bobby was also married, right? He also had several children, including the 2-year-old that he shared with Jessie and the unborn baby. Remember, she was 9 months pregnant, and it was by this dude right here. So Deputy Sheriff Derek Bad responded to the home. It came through as a missing person and a possible burglary, right? He spoke with Patty to get more information. He goes to check Jessie's room and he sees the same thing as his mom saw: the mattress, the broken furniture, etc. Knocked over a bottle of bleach, and it was a stain that was on the rug. As he is doing a walkthrough of the house, he also noticed that the purse is on the floor. So he's checking out the basement, and then when Bobby comes in, Bobby Cutts comes in the house. He questions him like, "Dude, why is you there?" And Bobby tells him that, hey, Audrey, which is Jessie's sister, called him, and that he and Jessie share a child, which is the 2-year-old Blake. So I'm assuming that the police officers didn't know that that was his baby mama. So the sheriff also
Because
checked
he was
Jessie's room.
married.
I didn't even think about that though. Oh, damn. He probably was like, nigga. So the sheriff also checked Jessie's garage, car, and trunk. Local hospitals are also being called, but they came up short. They're asking, do you have a Jessie Davis or even possibly a Jane Doe? And none of them checked in. They also spoke with neighbors in the area, but unfortunately, they had no information to where Jessie could be. And she was set to give birth July 3rd. So, yeah, that baby was babying that time. And so next, Sergeant Eric Weisburn arrived at the scene. He surveyed the home and he spoke with other officers who were always also there. He asked Bobby if he knew of Jesse's whereabouts, and Bobby told him he didn't know where she could be. Now, while talking to Bobby, he noticed a band-aid on his left pinky finger and asked, "Hey, dog, what's up with that? What happened?" Bobby told him he cut himself while cleaning patio furniture. Nigga.
What, the nigga can't clean his patio furniture?
I
It's
mean, I ain't trying to be
June.
funny. That's yeah, patio furniture. You cut yourself. No, man. That's
You act
just
like that's so out of the ordinary. Like, I cut myself doing dumb stuff, so why couldn't the man cut
I
himself
mean, I
while?
guess you're right though, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, he lied. He could have been a little bit more elaborate with the lie. You know what I'm saying? But I guess you're right when it's
No, when you
elaborate.
lying, you want to keep it simple
Yeah,
so you ain't got to remember the
yeah.
lie
Now, yeah,
later.
we're thinking like criminals in these streets now. Okay, okay. Now, so after speaking with Bobby, Sergeant Weisburn asked if he could speak with Blake. He asked Blake if he knew where his mommy was, and Blake answered, "My mommy is at work." And without any further questioning, Blake kept repeating, "Daddy's mad." So he asked Blake, "Why is Daddy mad?" But the baby didn't give him any further answer. First of all, the little nigga is only 2 years old.
Have you
Okay.
met these 2-year-olds? Met these 2-year-olds? Cause 2-year-olds,
But he
they
mixed though, man. He mixed. And Miss Kids, so look, I got a theory on Miss Kids, right? Real quick. I think Miss Kids, they like usually if you think about it, if you know anybody that's mixed, I guarantee you they got something wrong with them.
now when your two mixed kids come on here
Oh,
talking
nigga,
about,
hey, look, nigga, something is definitely wrong with my kids. Look, I'll be the first to say that shit. Look, I'm telling you, I've seen it. Yes, I'm telling. It's just like when you. That's why, like when you mix a pit bull with something, like they call, they not right. I'm just saying, mixed kids got problems. I'm sorry I said it. I hope we don't get canceled. So anyway, he asking a 2-year-old why is daddy mad, and the baby didn't get no further answers. So he asked. He just said, "Daddy's mad." That's all he kept on saying. He takes statements from Patty and Audrey and asks Bobby to come down to the station so he can get a better timeline of events. So the little baby snitched, and I ain't even mad at him.
I'm mad at the baby, I'm mad at you. That's where I'm at right now.
What? Because of the I'm telling you, look, really think about it. Just think about anybody in the industry, anybody who's mixed. I'm telling you, they got issues, man.
I
Your
mean,
best friend, Jesse Smollett. That's the
don't
problem. I just picked.
don't come from my
I
BFF
picked him
mind
out the
you.
air. That's so crazy. I literally just picked him out the air. We can go deeper and deeper. All mixed kids, something is not right. I'm telling you, if you know anybody that's mixed, I guarantee you
Yeah,
there
I got a
is an
mixed
issue with them.
brother. He is a little off.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
thank
was
you.
just like he needed his ass whooped. I ain't trying to, that was his problem. I think he had a good ass whooping. He would have been okay. But I mean, you know what? My kids. So let's continue. So Bobby goes down to the station around 1 p.m. that day, and he tells them that he's been trying to reach out to Jesse by phone, but he's got no response. He has no idea where she is. So he says that the day before, which was June 14th, he picked up his friend Maisha Farrell to babysit Blake while he went to football practice. So Sergeant Weisburn asked Bobby if he'll be okay with them, looking around his home. So Bobby says, "Sure, come on, come back to the house." The police do an inspection of his house, his shed, and he had a water well. So later that day, the police start to follow up with the names that Bobby gave them. They spoke with his wife, Kelly Cutts, who verified his story, and they were also able to verify her whereabouts and rule her out as a suspect because she would be a suspect because he got a side chick pregnant, a side chick missing. So of course we're gonna look at the wife just to make sure she ain't disgruntled and ain't tried to kill nobody.
Exactly. Side chicks
So
everywhere.
she's ruled out. She's good. So the very next day, which was June 16th, the sergeant and detective they contacted Maisha Farrell that Bobby spoke about before to set up an interview with her. So the sergeant goes to her house. Somebody answers the door, say, "Hey, she got company. Can you come back in 30 minutes? Can you do that? Can you tell them to come back?"
Exactly. She got company. Can you come back in 30 minutes? I never heard of that before.
Me either. So Sergeant, he waits. He comes back. he knocks on the door. He gets no response. So he tries to call again. She's not answering. So a
Damn.
while later, he makes a third attempt and still no contact. So Sergeant Weisburn calls Bobby and is like, this chick is MIA. So Bobby was like, "Oh, yes, she's actually at my house. So why don't you just come over here and speak with her?" Sergeant was like, "Nah, I'll catch her later." So Maisha's cousin, his name was Larry. He drove her back to the house where the sergeant was finally able to meet with her, and she gave her version of events, which matched Bobby's.
Guilty.
Let the story play out.
I'm just saying, man. You was in a house for 30 minutes. He waited, and now she mysteriously is with Bobby, and you got a cousin named Larry.
Okay, and
I don't know. I just don't trust little niggas named Larry.
so anywho, Maisha Farrell was born September 1st, 1977. Couldn't find much info about her or her upbringing, but we know she was born in Canton, Ohio, and she had known Bobby since middle school. They did graduate together in 1995, and at the time of this case, she was working part time at a Denny's, and she was being evicted from her apartment. I don't know why that was significant, but I just wanted to put that in there.
Oh shoot. Okay. So the following day, which is June 17th, the FBI calls into Stark County Sheriff's Department and offers their assistance. The FBI and the sheriff's office are working together to try to figure out where this missing pregnant white woman is. If you
Heavy
remember,
emphasis on the white
on the white
woman.
of the woman, okay? You gotta to get, because it's yes, she's a white woman and she missing. So, they pulling everything out for this. They collected DNA from Bobby, Maisha, and members of Jesse family. And while they're digging, discrepancies are starting to pop up. Uh-oh, on Bobby's end. I would never imagine that. So previously, Bobby mentioned to police that he left Champ's Bar on June 13th and went directly home. But they found out that he went to a friend's, Stephanie Hawthorne's house after he left the bar. So that's another side chick. Hey, he up to what, 3 right now? Is that the third one?
No, it's only two, Stephanie and Jesse.
Man, come on, man. Maisha got it. She a side chick. She got to be one. Then we'll talk about that. So he never even brought up this lady name. They also found out that the call he made to Jesse at 7:15 a.m. on June 13th was not made from his home as he originally said. So it was made from a location in Summit County. So a search of the area involving thousands of volunteers, including members of the Texas EQUU, search was launched. Bobby was right there doing the search to help find Jesse. That's some bullshit. And it's actually real quick, just say it's actually pictures of him sitting down looking distraught and just so hurt while he's helping to find. I wonder what was going through his mind. That's horrible. The case gained nationwide media attention because she was 9 months pregnant and she was a white woman. And if you remember, do you remember this that year when that other white woman was missing? Her name was Stacy Peterson. You remember that?
Vaguely.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was a cop too. Yes, I believe he was a cop also, and she ended up missing, and they end up. I guess they end up finding out he did it years later or whatever the
Wait, you
case may
talking about
be.
Scott Peterson?
Yes, her name's Stacy Peterson, so
I
they
thought
would
you said
have to
her.
be.
Is it Lacey or Stacy?
It's Stacy.
I thought it was Lacey. Well, anyway, no, I remember that. I remember that, and they caught that man. That's Scott Peterson. I do remember
No,
that
okay,
case.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, but maybe they happen to have the same name, but no, this lady Stacy Peterson, her husband. Oh shit, man, we should have researched that. All right, I believe her husband was a cop, though. I really do believe that, and because that was the similarities. It was a lot of similarities. So he was a cop also, and he ended up getting found guilty. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, he killed the wife before. But yeah, we really don't do the those type of cases.
Non-melanated cases.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying. So on June 23rd, 2007, Bobby and his attorney, Brian Iams, came down to the FBI office. And Bobby told them he would take them to where they could find Jesse's body. So this nigga done killed her. He took them on a 2-hour drive to a wooded area in Summit County and Hampton Hills Metro Parks. Her body was about 40 to 50 feet down in an embankment. The body was barely decomposed. Bobby was immediately placed under arrest. He was charged with 1 count of aggravated murder, 1 count of aggravated murder for the unlawful termination of Jesse's pregnancy, 1 count of aggravated murder of a viable unborn child, 1 count of aggravated burglary. What did he steal from her? Yeah, we'll
Mhm.
find that out. 2 counts of gross abuse of a corpse and 1 count of child endangering. His bond was set at 5 million. He then implicated Maisha Farrell as his accomplice.
Now
I'm
she
sorry.
snitching.
Now you done snitched on the bitch, right? So the FBI busted down her door. I know they man like, man, we just about to evict this bitch. Y'all the damaged the door. So the FBI busted down her door and arrested her on June 23rd. A search of her apartment turned up cleaning supplies, duct tape, and other items. Her bail was set at $500,000,
So wait,
and if
wait,
she's
wait, 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 wait.
what,
Why? Just so you busted my house and you find some duct tape and cleaning supplies. I got hella duct tape and cleaning supplies over here. What's that mean?
we gonna keep an eye on you. That's what that means. So her bail was set at $500,000, and unfortunately, due to her working at Denny's part time and just recently leaving eviction court, she was not able to make that bond. I'm assuming. The medical examiner believed that the murder occurred on June 14, 2007, and the following day after the body was found, it was confirmed to be Jessie. So they definitely found her. Rest in peace. And she was dead. So
And
Bobby,
so was a poor baby.
I know. And I think so. This sounds so horrible. When you going over the case, I keep on forgetting about that part. Like
Yeah,
I'm not
because
trying to be
I was
funny. And
like, that was literally like a real baby. Like she could have given
that
birth
baby was
within
not,
within this
yes,
time.
9 months. Yes, that nigga got a personality already. 9 months. So yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. But okay, go ahead.
So Jessie and her daughter, she had named her daughter. Her daughter's name was Chloe Leanne Davis. They were both laid to rest on June 30th of 2007 at her church, the House of the Lord in Akron, Ohio. That's how you know it wasn't a black church because it only got a very short name. Unlike what was that, Paulette and Tracy? What was the name of their church?
Which one?
Paulette and Tracy, the Burlesons. What was the name? It had, I remember it had like five New Mount Calvary.
Oh, New Mount Calvary, second side of Jericho, right next to Jerusalem, up the street from Bethlehem. Don't forget that you're gonna go to Genesis and you might make it to Exodus, Second Calvary Baptist Church.
So this is in Akron, Ohio. So over 750 people were in attendance. So the service was also streamed online through the local news stations. I just think that's odd for just a normal person.
She a white woman.
So her son Blake did not attend the funeral as the family felt that the toddler had been through enough trauma, which makes sense. And I don't think funerals are really a place for small children anyway. Um,
I never believed to take your kids to funerals. I really
Me
don't.
either. So her mother, Patricia Patty Porter, said at the service that her daughter had been a committed, God-fearing person, especially after doing overseas missionary work. But at some point, quote, she took a wrong turn somewhere, end quote. And I'm assuming that had to do with sleeping with a married man, but don't quote me on that. So Porter said that her daughter realized in church a few weeks before that she needed to reform her life. So Maisha was scheduled to go to trial on November 5th of 2007. But 15 minutes before she entered the courtroom, she took a plea deal for a reduced charge of obstructing of justice and gross abuse of a corpse. So in exchange for testifying against Bobby, she will receive a sentence of 2 years in prison with a possibility of release after just 1 year. She was originally facing up to 6 years if she went to trial and was convicted. Her attorney said, quote, she is very upset about the whole situation. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to go into her side of the story, end quote, and this was due to Bobby's upcoming trial. So Maisha's mother left the courthouse. She was holding her coat over her face as she passed television cameras. There was a brother there who would identify himself only as Mr. Robinson instead of his sister, quote, she's doing okay. So Jesse's mother, Patricia Porter, and father, Ned Davis, and her sister, Whitney Davis, all left the courthouse without commenting on the plea.
Mm, mm. All right. That's horrible. That's horrible. That's horrible. So Bobby went to trial February 8, 2008. So Patty, who's Jesse's mom, testified at trial, giving the jury the sequence of events which led her to going to her daughter's home, only to find her missing and her 2-year-old grandson home alone. So that was some sucker shit. Excuse my friends. Like, dude, you gonna leave your child? You just, I mean, like you just crashed out completely. You didn't left your child there. Just Ain't no telling what could have happened to him.
Yeah, he's a baby. He's 2.
Two, yeah. So Maisha took the stand and gave her versions of events. She testified that on the evening of June 13th, 2007, she and three girlfriends went to bingo at the home of the father of one of her friends, right? And after that, they went to sports bar before coming back home. When the women returned to Maisha's home, they stayed up all night playing cards, drinking beer, and smoking weed. She said that
That's
sometime around
wait,
was a
hold on, hold on. Bitch, you out smoking and drinking, knowing you ain't gonna have nowhere to lay your head in a second.
that's probably why she ain't got. That's why she ain't got nowhere to lay her head because she always out there smoking and drinking. Man, I'm telling you. But have you noticed though, the brokest people be living the most extravagant life. Like the brokest people be the ones kicking it the most. Real talk. The ones, yeah, they ain't got no house or nothing, but they always out. I will mention your girl, but I'm not gonna do that. I ain't gonna put people business out there, right? But so she said sometime around 6 a.m. on the morning of June 14th, 2007, Bobby arrived at her home, which she found unusual because he would always call before coming by. Those booty call hours and that big girl booty call hours.
Them ain't booty call hours 6 a.m. Nigga, who's coming? You should be going home at 6
Nigga,
a.m.
at 6 a.m. is booty call hour because you could be like, hey, I'm about to go head to the gym right quick. And then you go over to
I
you know what I'm
thought
saying?
booty call hours was between like 11 and 2.
I mean, but they change depending on the situation. You know what I'm saying? So this is booty call hours, right? So he married, right? So 6 a.m. is booty call hours for him. Because he can't be out no 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now 6 a.m. is more likely because I gotta get up, I gotta work on the case. I'm not saying it because I know because I don't do stuff like that, but I heard from a reliable source, right? I just want to say that. So he told her that he needed to talk, right? And that he needed her help. She said that he looked not like his usual self and said he looked dysfunctional.
What's a
And
dysfunctional
I
look?
would I swear that I swear I was literally about to ask the same question. But whatever the look is, that's how he looked. So they walked out to the car that was parked in the alley nearby. They got in the car and Bobby got on the highway and told her that something was wrong and something bad had happened. So she just hopped in the car. This nigga just started driving like, nigga, where are we going? But she down for the cause, I guess, right? So she said she noted that she had been smoking and she was under the influence at the time, but she was aware of what was happening. He was looking nervous and after a few minutes said that something was wrong with the baby's mother and she knew that he was talking about Jessie. So Bobby eventually told her Jessie body was in the back of the pickup truck. Now let me ask you a question. How would you respond to that? You driving with somebody, they looking dysfunctional as she stated, and then all of a sudden they like, yeah, man, this something going on with my baby daddy, baby mama, whatever the case may be, and then say, yeah, the body's in the back. It's a dead body right in the back. What would you do?
I'm gonna keep quiet. I gotta pee. We need to pull over. Can you stop at the next gas station? And then I'm straight getting out and calling the police. I'm not getting implicated in your bullshit.
I get it. I get it. So look, this is what she did. She asked him what happened, and he just made a motion with raising his arm around the neck, like like I choked the bitch. That's what he did. She then asked him where Blake was, and Bobby told her Blake was still at the house. They stopped because she had to use the bathroom. You just said that, right? But look, this is what she did. She stopped to use the bathroom, and he waited for her before they get back on the road. I know she probably to that bathroom like, oh, bitch. You ain't gonna believe this shit.
Well, I would have been on the phone with the police because I'm not going down for some shit I ain't did. And this is you got a white woman in your
A
truck,
white woman in
sir.
the back
They
of your
gonna throw they
truck.
gonna throw us under the jail. I'm not going down for this shit.
And then my thing is, I wonder if it was a pickup, then but if it's not a pickup, it's like an SUV, and she just in the back, just anytime you hit a bump, just white legs just smashing against each other. It's just so anyway, so they stopped because she had to go pee. So then they got back on the road, and then they came to Cuyahoga Falls Park, and Bobby stopped in an open field. They got back out of the truck and went around back where she saw a pair of feet. Ugh. The prosecution asked if she could see more, and she said she could not see and she didn't want to see anything else. So I guess there was some trash bags in the back of the truck, and Bobby took the body and walked away. When he came back, they got in the truck and headed back to Canton. She said on the way back, they stopped and Bobby dumped the trash bags into the dumpster. And the second stop was made, and he brought some mulch from a gas station and put it in the back of his truck. So I'm assuming he might have had a pickup truck. He then
Mhm.
called Jesse's phone and left a message asking why she didn't drop off Blake. So he's trying to cover his tracks. Bobby then gave her a pink cell phone and she threw it out the window. I guarantee you it was one of the Razor phones. Because think about it. During that time, the only peak phone you could get was those Razors. Remember those?
Mhm. Yeah, I had one.
Oh, you had one? Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So I guarantee that's what
Mhm.
it was, right?
But the
Here we
thing
go.
is, she's just doing all of this. She's not thinking like she's like, oh, he hands you a phone, so you just toss it out the window. Like none of this is.
I don't know.
She's
Yeah,
stupid.
it's stupid. And I mean, and then to make it so bad though, she said it herself that even though she is under the influence, she knew what was going on. He then called someone else and said he would be late to practice. They went back to Bobby's house. He took a shower and he changed his clothes. The prosecutor asked if she saw any marks. You know what I'm saying? But she said they were vague, right? She noticed that he had a cut on his pinky finger, and she asked what happened. He said she bit me, and she knew he was referring to Jesse. He gave her $100 and said he wished he could give her more. She stayed at his house while he went to a football practice, and he came back around 1 p.m. with his daughter and drove her home. So this nigga is just really just acting as nothing even happened. She said the next day he called her saying his baby mother was missing and she thought he was crazy. So her cousin, Larry, later took her over to Bobby's house and he instructed her to tell police that that she was supposed to babysit Blake, but Jesse never dropped him off. Her cousin brought her back home where she eventually spoke with the sheriff, and then she went back to Bobby's house until it was time for her midnight shift at Denny's.
This nigga wasn't a good cop either.
No, he wasn't. I'm not like obviously he wasn't good at solving crimes or investigating because he did everything you're not supposed to do.
Like you would think, once you have an inside knowledge, you would do a little bit better with
Yes,
covering your track. But
exactly.
nigga,
You
you
would
fucking
think you'll
up.
have inside knowledge.
Like this, yeah. So anywho, so Maisha's cousin Larry gets up on the stand. He gonna testify too, along with several other witnesses from the state to pinpoint Bobby's activity from for the time leading up to the murder. So basically, what they pieced together was that on Wednesday evening, Bobby played softball. The game started somewhere between 6 and 6:30 p.m. Following the game, he spoke with some friends, then proceeded to go to Champ's Bar, arriving around 8:15, 8:30. So he had a couple of beer. He was kicking it with his friends, including a woman named Denise Hayden, who he had previously had an affair with. So how many side bitches is this now? All right, we're up to what, three,
It's four,
four?
man. This nigga, I got hoes. He got Bobby had some hoes, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Clearly. So then he left the bar somewhere around 12:30 in the morning, approximately 1 a.m. He arrives at the house of that Stephanie Hawthorne, another girlfriend, and he stayed with Stephanie till about 2 a.m. So he just got him a quickie in real quick. He left there 2 a.m. and Stephanie called his cell phone around 2:14 a.m. and she briefly spoke with him. So next, who gets up on the stand is Kelly Schwab, formerly Kelly Cutts, and she testified that she and Bobby were married July 28th of 2001. They had one child who was 6 at the time of the trial. So it's gonna be a lot of back and forth here. So keep up with these days. It's a lot of
Yes,
back.
yes, it's a lot of dates. You guys gotta keep up. But it's
So yeah, because this man was doing a whole lot. Kelly and Bobby separated for a period of about 9 months between November or December of 2023 and September of 20. I'm sorry, 2003 and September of 2004. So prior to reconciling in 2004, Bobby told his wife that he had a one night stand, and as a result, the woman became pregnant with his child. So Kelly testified that Bobby had to pay child support. She assumed to be about $240 every 2 weeks. So the couple separated again in June or July of 2005 until October 2005. So Kelly had moved out of the couple's house permanently in 2007, and she filed for divorce after his arrest in October of 2007. And mind you, she filed for divorce. This nigga's already in jail. While he's in jail, she then requests full custody of their daughter as well as spousal support. What are you gonna get in spousal
she
support from
trying
the
to take all
Indians?
his little noodles.
He ain't got no income. He's an inmate. He in jail. What are you getting from
I
him?
mean, no, they work. They be getting a little bit of
His 50
money.
cent a day? That what she want, his 50 cent a day?
She trying to get everything she could get. Yeah, she probably,
Like,
man, she bitter, man. You know how y'all women be. She bitter as hell. She gonna
don't
take
say
all his
y'all women.
love.
You can keep that, sir. I'm sure you need something in jail, and I'm not putting no money on your book. So keep your little 50 cent a day. So anyway, their divorce was final on December 31st of 2007. He's still in jail. So we're gonna go off topic for just a moment. About this is about Bobby still. So a California court had suspended contact between him, and this is before the trial. Suspended contact between him and another one of his children. This was his 9-year-old daughter, based on evidence that he was emotionally and physically abusive. That court documents show. And this was a child that he had with an ex-girlfriend, Nikki Giavasis. And the 9-year-old stayed with Bobby in his home in North Canton in April of 2006, and then from June to December of 2006. So Nikki sought the court order after her daughter traveled to California to spend Christmas with her mother, and it was noted that during the visit, she took her to see a child psychiatrist who interviewed her daughter, and she said that her daughter felt, quote, sexually unsafe and threatened verbally, emotionally, and physically by Bobby.
This
So
nigga.
in the interview with the 9-year-old, she said that Bobby would often hit or threaten her, but he would always laugh afterwards and say he was kidding. And then Bobby also predicted that his daughter would one day work as a Las Vegas stripper.
Man, that dude diabolical. He's sick.
He really is. And mind you,
How you gonna
so
tell your daughter like how like I don't get like seriously. It's nothing even funny about that, but how could you say something like that to your daughter? Like, jeez.
but it's a lot like I mean, but people talk to their kids crazy. We've seen it. People talk to their kids like any old type of way, and I don't understand that because that's a impressionable child, and you're shaping them mentally when you talk crazy to
I'm gonna
them.
look up just to see because what hypothetically, what happened if he was right? Right? Look, I'm sorry, but what happens? You look her up and she is
And
a Las Vegas stripper.
moving
Okay,
on.
sorry.
Kelly testified that Bobby had called her the evening before. With he came with that stupid nigga voice. I guarantee he came with the stupid
Oh, I
nigga voice.
love it. Come on, I love the stupid nigga voice that you be trying to say that we all do.
Cause y'all all have that same stupid ass voice. And y'all have that same stupid ass voice. But basically he called her back with the baby, I miss you. And I just want you back. They done tried their marriage 70, 11 times. The shit ain't working. She like, nah. She knew he was cheating with Jessie. She was just like, I'm tired, nigga. You got 50, 11 bitches. I'm not trying to be on your basketball team of bitches. So,
No basketball team for bitches.
but did say he didn't. He had a whole basketball team of bitches. And you
Oh,
bringing
he
all,
did. No, he did. I
and
just
you
said
got
she didn't want
all
to be on the
these
team.
outside children.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and I mean, he got a whole like a whole
Yeah.
Spice Girl of women. You know what I'm saying? All the races, man. He's definitely not racist,
Mm-mm.
not
He don't
prejudiced at
be.
all.
Not at all. So, Kelly has said that like even after Jesse had the baby, Jesse was not allowed in their house when she was dropping off Blake. She said that Jesse would harass her, and Jesse had told her on several occasions that she and Bobby were still messing around, even though they were still legally married and living together. So now you got your side bitches harassing me. Keep your
Harassing me.
bitches in check.
Check, man. But sometimes
You
they like,
got
yeah, sometimes they be like, you know how women be wearing the bikinis and they don't shave and the hairs be sticking out of the line. That's how they be. Sometimes they get loose. I
that
could
had
have did a whole
nothing. That was a horrible analogy.
it was
Horrible.
Jesus, man. I'm sorry.
That was horrible. Anywho, I mean, I'm just saying, if you're gonna have side bitches, man, keep your side bitches in check. Like, know your places. If you want to be a side chick, know your place as a side chick. You are not the main. Just
They should
know
have a
your
school for
place.
side. They should have somebody that should teach like side chick etiquette, like just certain things you need to do because it's I don't seriously women they don't a lot of women do not know how to be a side chick.
But they
Yeah,
sign
they
up
don't.
happily for the role, but then don't know how to play their role.
Jeez.
So anyway, she said that she knew Jessie was pregnant again because Bobby told her. He also had told her that Maisha was supposed to babysit Blake because he had practice and that Jessie was going to drop him off.
All right, so Richard Mitchell, he's a close friend of Bobby, testified that approximately 1 month before the disappearance of Jesse, Bobby told him that he was gonna kill that bitch. And I'm not. That was his words, right? That he was gonna kill that bitch and throw her in the woods. Richard stated he didn't
Case
think Bobby
closed.
was serious. Yeah, huh?
Case closed right there. He
Yeah,
did what
right.
he
Yeah,
said he
man,
was
I
gonna
I
do.
agree. I lock him up. So Richard stated that he didn't think Bobby was serious when he made the statement. Richard couldn't recall the context in which the statement was made. But I ain't gonna lie, man. It's been a couple times like, man, I swear, man, I cannot stand this bitch. I look, man, baby mamas have a way of they have a way of causing a man to come out his hookup so quick, man. Oh my goodness, man. I ain't gonna lie.
That's just like baby daddies do, but I ain't trying to be funny. I ain't never said I'm gonna kill that nigga and dump his body.
Man, you thought it though. You may not have said it, but you thought it been time. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I remember when my baby mama saw my license plate to my car. I'm like, yes, man. I got some stories.
She
I got
stole a
some baby.
license plate off your car.
Yes, Elizabeth. I say her name,
Oh
Elizabeth.
my god!
Yes, I don't care. She stole the license plates off my damn car, man, on everything I love. Like, who
Don't have that woman on my line talking about some your best friend. I'm gonna be like,
Who
ma'am.
does that shit? Like, yes, I'm telling you, like, I used to just sit there. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a man that say I'll be in my car crying like, God, like, just leave me alone. Like, please. That's why you gotta be careful who you lay down with, like real talk, man. Especially if they mix.
You
Don't
sure
lay down with
do.
mixed people. Because mixed people, I'm telling you, anybody with a mixed baby mama, I guarantee you, they got problems. I'm telling you. And she was mixed. Go ahead. Oh, it's my turn. See, I didn't get confused, discombobulated. Think about that shit she used to do to me. Know what I'm saying? Elizabeth, you need help. So Dr. Kohler testified that
Oh
she
my
performed an autopsy the following day after finding the body. She examined that due to the she not examined. I apologize. She explained that due to the advanced state of
You
decompos-
discombobulate that word every day. Decomposition.
decomposition. I swear I'm gonna get it right this time. It was flowing so good. So she took X-rays to determine whether any projectiles or sharp objects remained in the body. So Dr. Kohler stated that her external autopsy of Jesse's body revealed a very advanced state of decomposition. I said it
There
right.
you go.
Yeah, all right. Yes. What's that? Reading. Oh, the hooked on finest work for me, and the portion of her body which had been in contact with the ground was largely skeletized. So it was bone, so the flesh melted more or less.
That's
The remaining flesh on the body was dark, dried out, and leather like. So Dr. Kohler stated that she was able to observe the fetus inside Jesse's body during her external autopsy. So she probably lost a lot of weight, and oh, that's horrible. Ugh. The medical examiner went on to explain that she was able to get a good visualization of the skeleton remains of the baby. So the doctor reiterated that Jesse's body was in an advanced stage of putrefaction with the drying out of the skin and the exposure of bones. She explained that certain conditions affected the speed of this, and those conditions include a hot environment. Remember, this was the summertime, an exposure which would allow insects to access her body.
ugh.
So I know, right, man?
That had to be a
At,
gruesome scene, like gruesome when they got there.
yes, yeah, and I would have made them look like I would have made them look like I
I'm
want
sure
that.
he did.
Yeah, I want that image to burn in your thick ass head because that nigga had a big ass head too. Did you see how big his head is?
I'm
You didn't
like,
see
yes,
Bobby. We show y'all the picture. Bobby Cuz got a big ass head. I just
he
want to throw
cute
that out
though.
there. Oh Jesus!
All the
I just want
pictures is
he
pretty.
cute, but so just think real close. Just think. I want you to think about that. He cute. This
That
imagine.
was all I said. I ain't said nothing else about him. I just said he
Okay.
was cute. I mean, the man
Okay.
fine. I can't help he fine. He crazy.
Okay. Okay. Well, she further testified that dental records were used to positively identify the body was that of Jesse. The exact cause of death was not determined due to how badly decomposed the body was. She suggested strangulation, but again, it would not be fully determined. There was no trauma to the fetus, but due to mom passing away, the baby could not have survived. But remember, Jessie was 37 weeks pregnant at the time of her death. You know what I'm saying? So the baby would have been able to survive it given a chance. So, like, that's crazy to think of. Like the baby would have lived. Like, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the baby literally suffered. Just
Mm-hmm.
like the mom suffered, the baby suffered.
Mm-hmm.
So Bobby took the stand and testified that he met Jesse in February or March of 2004 at a nightclub while he was separated from his wife. They had sex the same night. That's usually what happened with white girls. And sometime that
Oh
year,
my
she got pregnant.
God.
What? I'm just telling you, you don't know this because you're a woman. I'm just telling you, what this happens. It's the truth.
Stop
Like,
the generalizations.
well, with
There's some
some
church
white
going
women,
white people,
some,
white girls. You don't know that?
with some white women, it happens. So they had sex that same night, as I said, and she got pregnant, and Blake was born December 2004. He got back with his wife. We talk about Bobby, of course, and established paternity around April 2005 and started paying child support. So I guess he was on the straight and narrow. So he was, but that's that's what we did. We do the nigga voice, and he was getting himself together, and they end up separating again, him and Kelly. So basically, he was going back and forth between Kelly and Jesse. So he was messing up both of their pH balances.
And whomever
And
else he
whoever
was
else,
screwing.
yes. He denied having made the statement about killing Jesse and throwing her body in the woods. Nigga, ain't that just a coincidence, a coinky dink? Because that's exactly what you did.
Right. And ain't sure funny. Ain't nobody about to get up on the stand and just lie for no reason. Well, okay, that's not true. That man ain't get up on the stand and lie for no reason for him. He didn't. He ain't lie on that man. But
Exactly.
anyway, Bobby went on to testify that on June 10th of 2007, he received a couple of text messages from Jessie asking him if he was at work and telling him that she thought she might be in labor and might need him to watch Blake. This could have been, now I'm thinking about, this could have been a ploy to get her over there because she wanted some attention. But still. So anyway, Bobby said that he told her that he would take care of Blake while she went to the hospital. Wouldn't you be going to the hospital if she's pregnant with your baby? Don't you want to be there with your so your daughter, you can see your daughter being born? He was very disconnected from that child for some reason, if that I've noticed, and that's just really weird to me.
Exactly.
So anyway, he also recalled that he and Jesse discussed when he could watch Blake during the week of June 11, 2007. Bobby says he told Jesse that he could watch Blake on Thursday, which was his day off. He said that afterwards he remembered that football practice was starting that week, so he made arrangements with his friend Maisha Farrell to watch Blake that day. He
Yeah.
then explained that Maisha had asked him if she could borrow $100. So Bobby says that he offered to pay her $20 for watching Blake and then loan her 80, which she would have to pay back. But how is she gonna pay it back? Sis is struggling. She ain't got it.
My shit out there broke as hell.
She is. She is. But either which way, nigga, you gave me $100 for helping you hide a body. That was not worth a year, 2 years of
Exactly.
my
Remember,
life.
he's like, I wish I can give you more.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. She probably did it just for that. She was like, well, shit. I mean, can't be as bad as working at Denny's. All right, that was wrong.
Hmm. So
Mm.
next, he testifies to his actions on June 13th of 2007. Bobby said that he had worked the previous night with his shift ending at 8 a.m. on June 13th. He then described what he did throughout the course of his day prior to attending a softball game, which started at 6:30. He stated that he spoke with Jessie on his way to the softball game and informed her that he planned on picking up Blake around that evening around 10 p.m. That is past the baby's bedtime. He says that he and some other teammates stayed after their softball game was over and watched the second game of the evening. Bobby says that he called Jessie and told her he was going to go to Champ's Bar after the game, and if he had anything to drink, he wouldn't pick up Blake that evening. He would get him the next morning by 6 a.m. Typical
Okay.
nigga. Just
Mm.
leave the nigga here.
I mean, he being responsible though. He did. He
No,
said
but
that
I'm
if
just
he
saying, like, you gonna say, well, I'll come get him around 10 p.m. The baby's going to sleep, so you're not spending no time with him. Just pick him up the next day. Pick him the next
I got you.
day.
I got
But
you.
then
You're
he
right.
says he went to the bar, he drank about 4 or 5 beers, and he socialized with his friends, including Denise, and he left around 1 a.m. So Bobby said he then drove to Stephanie's house where he stayed until 2 a.m. before heading home. He recalled that he spoke with Stephanie on his phone on his way home, and he testified that he woke up at 5:20 a.m. on June 14th and drove to Jesse's house, arriving approximately at 5:45 a.m.
Mm.
Entered her home through the garage, which Jesse would leave open when she was expecting him to come for Blake or a booty call. And he knocked on the door, entered the house, and called for Jesse, who responded from upstairs. He went upstairs, found Jesse on the floor in her bedroom, and asked her what was wrong and if she was in labor. Bobby says Jesse told him that she was tired and she was nauseous. So he said he then asked her to get Blake ready, and when she did not promptly get up, he again asked her to hurry up.
Then
Mind you,
he did
this
not
poor
like her. He did not like her at all.
he did
He
not
was
like this
pissed. He
lady
was
is
pissed about her being
9
pregnant.
months pregnant. Do you understand how hard it is to move around? Like you have a full grown baby inside of you. Like your hips ache, your back hurt, you're tired, you can only move so fast. Like, come on. Like, get a lady a break. But yes, he did not like her.
Nah, he
You
did
could
not
tell
like
he
her
did
at
not like
all.
her. So he said that when she still didn't respond quickly, he helped her get to her feet. He admitted he could tell that she was trying to get her bearings once she was on her feet, but he still pushed her to hurry up as he wanted to get home and get more sleep. Selfish. He then said that Jessie checked him as she should have, stating, quote, "If you weren't out last night with your friends all night, you wouldn't be rushing me now," end quote. Check him, boo.
I'm
So
like, you
Bobby
wasn't out with
recalled
your hoes. Out
that
with your
part,
hoes.
but she was one of them, so she can't really say that. But anyway, Bobby recalled that he responded that what he did was not her concern, typical nigga, and he didn't
Damn.
have to be there, and he could instead get Blake over the weekend. So Bobby said he tried to leave, but Jesse stepped in front of him and grabbed his shirt. He said he pulled away and tried to step around her, but again she moved in front of him. So Bobby said that Jesse then grabbed him, telling him he could not leave because she needed to go to work. He replied that he could leave if he could get her out of his way. He then pretended to stick his finger up his nose and put it in her face.
This nigga was so immature.
I was like, that's what you do in first
This
grade.
nigga, yes, this nigga. Oh my God, who does that?
And he said that that's when Jesse bit his finger. He said he looked at his finger and told her that he was definitely leaving now. And I don't care if you have to work or not.
Oh, so okay, so you're picking her up because you're working to help her out, and
Yeah,
then
but this.
then the fact that she was working and she was 9 months.
Yeah, like I
Like
said, she.
don't after a certain while, don't after a certain bit of time y'all supposed to sit y'all asses down.
I mean, not necessarily. Like, I think I worked with my oldest. I worked up until shoot. I think like 3 or 4 days before I went into labor.
Mm.
No, like it's sit around and do. I mean, some people don't. Like my other three, I ended up on bed rest with the other three, so I didn't have that luxury. But if I could work up until I was done, I was gonna work up until I was done.
I get it. I get it.
I mean, because just sitting around the house is boring. Well, for me, it is anyway. But so next, he said he stepped around Jesse and she grabbed him and told him he couldn't leave. He said that in an attempt to free himself from Jesse's grasp, he pulled his arm away and threw back his elbow, which struck Jesse in the throat area. He said that when he was heading towards the door, he heard Jesse fall and he turned around and saw her lying on the floor. He testified that he went over to her and asked if she was all right, but she didn't respond. He said he shook Jesse's shoulders and again asked her if she was all right, but she remained unresponsive. So he unsuccessfully attempted CPR, but he was able to find a pulse.
So
So he
wait,
saw
when they,
about
I'm sorry, I apologize. When they say he unsuccessfully attempted, what do they mean by that?
that nigga probably tried it for like three. He probably pumped in her chest, blew her mouth 3 times. Like, okay, this ain't working, and gave up. So
Okay, yeah,
that's not.
it's kind of sound like he didn't know what he was doing. Unsuccessfully attempted, but if you're a police officer,
You
you
should
see what
know
I'm getting at?
CPR. I
You
mean,
so
yes, I
yeah, you're
understand,
supposed to know that.
but I think it's different when you're actually in the field because it's one thing when you're practicing on a dummy because honestly, like I was CPR certified, and if that happened, I think it's a whole different story when it happens in real life versus you're practicing.
I got you. No, I mean that makes
So,
sense. That absolutely
and
makes
I mean, and
sense.
you think it's probably running through his head. God damn it, I got this pregnant white woman on the floor. She might be dead. Like all that's running through my head.
Yeah,
They gonna
yeah.
bury my ass. So he did find a pulse on hers. No, he
No,
did
he
not find
didn't.
a
He
pulse. I'm
didn't find a
sorry.
part. Yeah.
He did not find a pulse. So he saw a bottle of bleach and he said he poured some in the cap and placed it under her nose in an attempt to revive her.
What the fuck? Go ahead.
I don't know. I thought the same thing. I don't know. So Bobby
This
explained that
nigga.
he knocked over the bleach bottle when he stood up. He said that he did not call 911 because he couldn't turn on Jesse's cell phone that was on the charger. Now, mind you, don't even back then cell phones had like an emergency button, like you could still
Yeah,
always
they
dial
all. Yeah.
911.
Yes, you can. Even if the phone is locked, you can.
Yes,
But whatever.
yeah, and he said he also had two cell phones in his truck, but he did not think about getting one to call 911.
So that's all cap. That's what I was trying to get at with the whole the whole unsuccessfully attempting CPR. That nigga lying. He didn't do none of that shit.
So, because my first thought, I mean, regardless, is if you even if you don't try and save her, you're not gonna try and save your child.
I know, I know. This dude was selfish. We'll talk about that because I keep mentioning that also, but we'll talk about that.
And so he collapsed crying and fell back onto Jesse's bed, pushing the mattress off the box spring, and a nigga dramatic. He
Very
decided
dramatic. I could imagine how he looked. No,
for you to
no.
fall to the
Yeah.
yeah. So he decided to leave without seeking help because he knew he would never be able to explain what had happened. He said that he checked on Blake and finding him sleep, he decided to leave him there while he went to get Maisha to watch him. So you was gonna bring her back to a dead woman's house to watch her baby?
Man, he ain't thinking logical. That and remember, he was drinking. So
Well,
he
he should
probably
have
under
been
the influence
sober from the
also.
night before. So he decided to take Jesse's body with him and placed her body in the bed of his truck. So yes, he did have a pickup. So when he got to Maisha's house, he told her that he needed her to come with him immediately. He intended to return to Jesse's house and have Maisha watch Blake while he went to the police to explain the situation. But upon further thinking, he would have to explain why he moved her body. And that's when he made the decision to just go ahead and get rid of the body. And then he starts to corroborate the rest of Maisha's testimony as to what they did when they got in the truck.
Mm.
So afterwards, he felt like if he didn't think about the situation, it would all just go away, which is why he didn't go back to the house for his son. He went about his day as usual. He went to work, did his late shift. When he got off, he planned to pick up his son, but instead got the call from Jesse's sister saying that she was missing. So he got to the house and he was relieved to see that his son was okay, but he didn't say anything to the officers because he was scared they would not believe him.
So
So
he
almost
really did. So he really tried to act as if not. I mean, I get that, but if you go back, it makes sense because remember, Maisha made that comment, said that he called her like, "Hey, my baby mama missing." She like,
yeah,
"Nigga, what? I
like
know."
nigga, we just dumped her body. What you mean
Yeah,
she missing?
exactly. So he really did try to convince himself
The
that.
mind is a very powerful thing.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yes. So he said he didn't say anything to the officers because he was scared they would not believe him. Yeah, I wouldn't believe you either. So almost a week later, his conscience got to him and he didn't want to continue torturing Jesse's family. So he went ahead and turned himself into the police.
I wonder, see, first of all, if he would have just called immediately after he did whatever. Number one, they would have probably charged him with felon, like I forgot what the murder is. I forgot what it was, but not
Aggravated murder
aggravate. He probably would have did 10 years
or he
and
could have got or manslaughter.
or manslaughter. Yes, they would probably charge him with manslaughter, and he probably would got 10 years, and the baby would still been alive. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? But just, I
Yeah.
mean, he just, and when I was doing research on it, and we'll talk about that also.
Mhm.
They said that he did. The police said he just kept making mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. He just, I mean, yeah. So he fucked up any chances um, of freedom with the decisions
Mhm.
that he made. So on February 15th, 2008, Bobby Coates was found guilty of aggravated murder. Wasn't, I apologize. He was not found guilty of aggravated murder, but convicted of a lesser charge of murder. Aggravated murder of her unborn child, aggravated burglary, gross abuse of a corpse, and child endangering
But
because he left the little
what did
baby
he
at home.
steal? What's the burglary thing? Because he didn't. What's
Her
the
cell
burglary? I didn't
phone.
get that.
Her cell phone.
Oh,
Remember, he took it and threw it out to, yeah, anything over, and them razors were expensive. I think anything over like $300-400. Yeah.
razors wasn't that expensive. Phones didn't get expensive until the iPhone came out because the iPhone was the most expensive phone at $400. So it couldn't have been that much.
Razor was right before it though, man. But you got to think, man, things were different though. Like $300 now, it wasn't $300 back then, especially for a phone. Yeah,
Yeah, I
so it
remember
was,
that first
yeah, it
iPhone told
was,
me up. I was like, $400 for a phone? I was like,
yeah,
Jesus,
yeah,
this is insanity.
it is, man. But I mean, shit, I wouldn't go back. So, again, we said the child endangerment. Now, he was facing the possibility of life in prison or the death sentence. The jury decided not to give that nigga the death penalty. So,
Which
Bobby
he
Cook
got lucky
Jr.,
because you done killed a white woman,
a
sir.
white woman with a mixed baby, because it was a mixed baby. Yeah, I'm just
Continue
being.
on, sir. I'm not even gonna
I'm no, I
comment.
mean, no, 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 no. I no, no, no. And just look, I'm not making fun of the death of the baby. No, what I'm trying to say is, she was messing with the black dude. That's all I'm trying to say. If you know what I'm saying. Now, if it was a white woman that she didn't know or he didn't know he did that, he would have got the death penalty. But because they were in a relationship, I guarantee you that's probably why they didn't do it. I'm just being honest. And they were in Canton. Come on, that's all I'm saying.
I don't
So
know nothing about that.
he ended up getting on February 27th, they gave him of 2008. They gave him life in prison with eligibility of parole, but he got to do 57 years, right? So he must serve each of his murder convictions consecutively. Now, Bobby did file for an appeal with the courts in April 2008, citing the trial was tainted by systematic prejudice and prosecutor misconduct. And that's so crazy for me because when you do stuff like that, because one of the things is he was apologizing, crying on the stand, saying he did not mean to do it. I did not mean to do it. If that's the case, then why are you even trying to file for the appeal? You did it. I mean, you literally said I did it. I I killed this woman. Which again, another question to ask: why didn't you try to? I wonder why they didn't cop out to a plea. Because he's never once trying to say he said I did it. Now I didn't mean to do it, but I did it. I wonder why he didn't. Why would you even take this to trial?
Maybe he thought maybe he thought by taking it to trial they would see that he didn't mean to do it, and the jury would have more sympathy on him and give him a lighter sentence. Maybe.
I mean, but the judge get a sentence, not the jury. The judge is the
No,
one that
but the
issues the
jury is
sentence.
what convicts you on the charges because they can like
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah, yeah. They convict you of the charge, but the judge is the one to give you the sentence. So,
but the judge can only sentence you based on the charges, like just how he was convicted for.
oh, okay, I see what you said. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
like they charged him with the lesser charge of murder and not aggravated murder because aggravated murder carries a longer sentence than just murder.
Okay, I
So
see.
you see how I'm saying, like, so then the judge will base your sentence off of what
Off
the
of that,
jury
yeah,
has convicted you of.
yeah. I would say fuck that. He getting life. He getting life. No possibility of parole. You don't deserve it. I mean, I'm being honest with you. You don't deserve, especially because the baby, and that's the part I'm gonna make. Little is really said about the baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
and I'm guilty of that. Even talk about the case, I always tend to forget, like, damn, it was a baby. So anyway, the judge refused to exclude some of the juries who had assisted in the search. So I guess a lot of Canton is not a real big city. So a lot of the people that helped in the search, I guess a few of them was on the actual jury. So he wanted to change the venue and it was denied. He also said the judge failed to instruct the jury on the lesser charge, including manslaughter, amongst other issues. The court upheld the sentencing in September 2009. He submitted an appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court, and again, his sentencing was upheld. He was remanded, to the Toledo Correctional Institute to serve his sentencing, but in 2013, he was granted a transfer to the Marion Correctional Institute. I wonder why he went there. I'm just curious.
I don't know how they determine which prison you're going. I think that I don't know.
And he about to, and they about to tear his little Bucci cat up because he was a police officer too. You was a police officer too, so yeah. When he first went in, they probably tired of that old booty hole now. But when he first went in, they probably were tearing that little dude up, man.
So anyway, Patty, who is Jesse's mother, said that she forgives Bobby because for killing her daughter and has been advocating for his sentencing to be reduced. However, the state stands firm on the fact that even though the family advocates for him, he has still committed a heinous crime and his sentencing will stand. Quote, I have a tremendous amount of sympathy for what Patty Porter has gone through in losing her daughter, Jessie. The prosecutor's office says, and I greatly admire and respect what she has done in raising Blake and forgiving Mr. Cutts. However, the law of the state of Ohio imposes certain penalties for the offenses Mr. Cutts was convicted of. And those laws do not provide for any type of early release. The Stark County Prosecutor's Office and myself would vigorously oppose any consideration of an early release for Mr. Cutts. End quote. So Bobby says how he feels about Patty's forgiveness is, quote, I don't think anybody could have the level of forgiveness that Patty has. Sometimes I sit back and think, wow, I'm aware that others aren't as forgiving as she is, but I can't let that bother me. And I don't let that bother me. I'm not in their shoes. I can't dictate how someone forgives me or doesn't forgive me. I can't tell them how to process it. Like, it's been this amount of time and should be more forgiving or not. All of that is done in our own time.
Look, it take a special type of woman or person in general. I can forgive you, but to be advocating for you, nigga, please. I'm not advocating for you to get out of jail. I forgave you, and that should be enough. But I'm not advocating.
Maybe
I
she's
wonder if it's a
thinking about,
situation if her son just so his son so damn bad, she's like, nigga, come and get your boy.
oh my gosh, or she just would like, her grandchild to at least have one of his parents.
Nigga, get your son. I can't do this. Get your son. I'm sorry, Tiffany. And I'll tell y'all why I'm being ignorant too in a minute. When I tell y'all why I'm being ignorant with these jokes, right? So look, in June 2017, Bobby was interviewed. He still sticks with his story that he killed Jesse accidentally during an argument. I think now, this is him. This is what he said. I think taking things for granted leads to not necessarily doing the right things all the time or not thinking about the consequences of your action at times. Cut says prison in some ways has changed me for the better. I think 10, 11 years ago, I was more selfish than I am now. And I'm actually think I appreciate things a little bit more than I did before. I wouldn't recommend this course of action for anybody to get a different perspective about life. But I do think I am a better person. If I was released, those in my life would see a change and embrace it. End quote. So that's what he said. So they say that he is a model inmate in prison. He's involved in the prison dog program. The local humane society sends dogs to be trained by selected Marion prisoners, and Cuts is one of them. And he'll work with the dog for about 2 months, training them with common obedient commands. While serving time in Toledo, he saved another inmate's life. I guess the cellmate attempted to hang himself, and he saved him. And the inmate also come to him for legal advice, and they looked to him as a mentor. So he probably did change his life while he was in jail, and he ministered to people. He sings in the prison choir and coaches sports and plays on the inmates' sports team. So I guess jails have sports teams. Oh, well, they the longest yard, so maybe they do. So Blake was raised by Jesse's parents with assistance from Bobby's mom as well. By now, he would be about 20 years old. Maisha, she was the one that helped hide the body, was released from prison after just 1 year in December 15th of 2008, and that was at Trumbull Correctional Institute. She stayed low key after her prison stint. Unfortunately, she passed away November 26, 2023. And according to Tiffany, her obituary said she died and gave the date that she died, and that was it. Is that correct?
And the date that she was born, that was it.
Oh, yeah, and the date that she was
I
born.
don't know
So
who she pissed
when she
off
pissed
or who
somebody,
did
well,
not like her,
yeah, she pissed
because her
somebody.
obituary was a blank. And I found that on a fluke too. But yeah, that was very weird. Like, I've never seen just a blank obituary like that. So anywho, let's go into our love lies and alibis section. So today we're going to discuss police police who are in relationship statistic of police in relationships and domestic violence and how that works out.
Police be whooping women's asses. I'm telling you.
Yeah, so they say that the last really big statistical facts are from the 90s, and they said approximately 40% of police officers self-reported committing domestic violence in the past year. However, more recent studies and reviews suggest that the rate might be lower, but it's still significant, ranging from 5 to 40%. And they said several factors contribute to these statistics. Police culture, which is characterized by a blue wall of silence and militarized masculinity, can create an environment where domestic violence is both underreported and at times tolerated. Due to officers' familiarity with the legal system and access to support systems can further complicate the the situation. So
Yeah, I
that
mean, you gotta
in
think though,
itself
because
is
half
an
of the
issue.
time you'll whoop your girl ass, and the people that's investigating you and coming in, into the situation are your coworkers.
Yeah. And we know from the media and from what we've seen that they're going to always protect their own, and it doesn't matter who, at what cost, that comes with. They are like very fiercely protective of their own.
Yes, that blue that brotherhood is something else. Like that police brotherhood, they loyalty is something else. Real talk.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go ahead and say why you have such a distaste for that man?
Why I got this? Why do I got distaste for? Oh no, no, no! I ain't got distaste for that man. I was gonna. What was I gonna say? So number one, let me let you guys know. I actually did reach out to him. I'm not. I'm gonna post the. I'm gonna actually post a screenshot. But I actually reached out to him, and he also is about to graduate from seminary school. Right. So he's about to graduate from seminary school too. So he's gonna be a pastor. Pastor Bobby Cuts. But I did reach out to him and I asked if he wanted to make a comment. His first reply was basically like, "What's the purpose and whatnot?" And he's trying to heal or whatever the case may be. And I said, "Man, fuck your healing." No, I didn't say that, but I was like, "I get it. I understand you trying to heal. They're trying to give you a voice if you want it." Then he came back with basically saying, "Nah, I'm cool, man. They're gonna feel what they feel about me right now. I'm just trying to serve the Lord and protect my butthole." And I said, "Okay, no doubt." So I'll post
He
those.
did not say
He
that.
didn't? Oh, he didn't. Let me be sure. He did. Maybe he did. I don't know, but I'll post it up. So look, real quick. I'll save this for when we do our live. I don't want to tell, but I would tell. Just let y'all know. I was originally supposed to be the one to write the case, and so I'll tell you guys during the live because it's funny. So let's go ahead and get to the end, girl.
Okay, so we hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you have not canceled us yet, because my best friend ain't got a lick of goddamn sense
No sense.
at all. So if you have made it this far, we greatly appreciate you and we would love for you to share our podcast with others. Um, like I say, new episodes drop every single Monday, whether it kills him or not. And and make sure to follow us on social media. We're on Instagram at Melanin Mysteries Pods. Same thing on TikTok, and then Melanin Mysteries Podcast on Facebook. And if you feel that we are doing better, I don't know what you would rate us as, but give us a rating, like not a bad one. Um, we will
Yeah,
accept
let us
your
know. Look,
criticism
forget all that.
and
Stop trying to
feedback.
be politically correct. Look, if we fucking up, let us know. Like, if to let us
But
know
I mean, they don't have
the
to let us. Like
things.
they can like
No,
DM us and let us
yeah,
know.
DM, of course, yeah. You know what I'm saying. I mean, but let us know things we need to work on. Let us if it again also if it's a case you want us to review and do, let us know. If you got a couple suggestions, we are up for that. We are always down for constructive criticism. But we just ask to either just DM it to us. Don't be putting it on the front page because I am ignorant. I'll let you know that, and I'll be ignorant right back with you. So just we definitely want you guys to we want to have what's the word I'm looking for? We want to have a conversation with you guys. We definitely want to dialogue with you guys. So just let us know what you think.
And on that note, just remember
Stop.
that
Wait.
love.
First, stop sounding like you so frustrated. Stop. All right. Stop. Stop acting like you frustrated. Look, it's been a couple people that have said you guys are look, that said that you guys are we go together. We mesh. We mesh. I'm the ignorant, you the more calm. Anyway, person. But go ahead. All right, say what you gotta say, then we out.
So remember, love should not come with a life sentence.
Mm-mm.
So choose freedom and not felonies.
No felonies, and y'all take it easy. Appreciate you listening.